Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Blake Damon here with another Sims 4 stop motion speed build. Today we are building a restaurant. I think the last place that I built a restaurant was in Sulani. I made a cute little seafood restaurant called Food from the Isle. This time around we'll be making a Italian restaurant called Taste of Tartosa. I think this is my first restaurant build. No, I don't think I made a video for the Sulani restaurant build. If that's the case, I might actually have to make one for that build because I was actually quite proud of that build. I really like the way it turned out. That'll be coming out soon, so look out for it. Anyway, let's start talking about this build. You know what? I don't really know why I decided to make a restaurant since it's not really a thing that I build. I'm known for my tiny houses. Well, when I first started out planning this build, I had every intention of making a house. But then I was looking at the location. The lot is called Via Romanza, which is in the neighborhood of Terra Amorosa. I hope I got those names right. I probably butchered them, but I tried my best. Anyway, the lot is 30 by 30, but it has this peculiar situation. It's kind of up high with this open area that views the sea. Initially, I was thinking that maybe I could build a house that has the balcony that faces the ocean. But the more I thought about it, the more I thought it would be weird to have a house in a place like this. And my previous build using this pack was a wedding venue that was a church. So like a place to get married. So I was thinking this time, what if I make a place where people can go after they're married, like a reception place? And that's where the idea of a restaurant came to life. Now, all I had to do was decide what this restaurant was going to look like. Now, with this Tartosa place, I was trying to figure out what place it kind of was based on. Apparently, the name Tartosa is very close to the name of this Spanish town called Tartosa. There's a river there and there's mountains, very similar to the Tartosa here we have in The Sims. I think the only thing Tartosa in Spain doesn't have is a waterfall. Anyway, guys, check it out in Google Maps. It's beautiful. Okay, so now I had a location to kind of base my build off. At this stage, I usually go off into Google Map images and search for an inspiration image. This time I didn't do that. You know how in Google Maps you can do this whole street browser view and you can sort of drag this little orange man onto a street and it'll show you what the view looks like from the street? Well, that's what I did. And what I found was that there were a lot of white walled buildings with tiled roofs. The buildings are pretty plain, nothing fancy on them. Didn't really give me romantic vibes. And that's when I decided that I was just gonna make my own building up. No reference this time, apart from, of course, the white walls and the tiled roof, which I stole from location. The building itself, like the structure of it, came from my head. Looking at it now, kind of reminds me of my Hispanic build that I made a couple of years back. I'll put a card up of the speed build video that I made of that at the end of this video. So I finished the main building now. We have a bar upstairs, the reception underneath the bar, and the kitchen off to the side. Now, when I was planning this build, I really wanted to take advantage of the view of the ocean, which is why I didn't have any restaurant seating inside any of the buildings, except for maybe the bar. But that's upstairs and has clear windows to the outside facing the ocean. And I thought the best way to really appreciate the view of the ocean, as well as the mountains and the river, would be through open air seating, which is why, as you can see, I have this massive paved area. And as you'll see later on, that's where all the seating will go. It also has an advantage that I didn't consider when I was planning this, and that's my issue with landscaping. As you all will mostly know, I'm not the greatest at landscaping. But if you didn't know that, welcome to my channel. Please like and subscribe. This lot is massive, okay? I don't normally build on lots this big. Like, I only build tiny houses and they're always on itty bitty lots. And usually the house takes up most of the lot, which means that I don't usually have to worry too much about landscaping. I mean, I do a bit of it because it looks pretty, but it's not very extensive. And I always try and avoid doing as much landscaping as possible because I'm not very good at it. So I usually try and avoid it by filling the lot with stuff like greenhouses and like farms and stuff like that. There are people I've seen on YouTube who do speed builds and their gardens are just impeccable. I can't do that. I don't know how. My landscaping looks very wild and unkempt. I always like to use the tall grass and plants that look like they're out of control. So my gardens always look like they've just never been mowed or pruned or tended or anything. But I kind of like it, which is probably why my landscaping hasn't really improved, because I just keep doing it because I like it. And I've come up with a theory as to why I like doing messy landscapes. I think it's because the interior of my builds are really clean and minimalist. So because I do my interiors really tidy, I feel like I need to have the outside messy to kind of balance it out. Does that make any sense at all, or am I just crazy? Anyway, it makes sense to me, so whatever. You know, I had so much fun putting the bougainvillea vines up on the walls. I think that fact is obvious by the amount of bougainvillea I used. I don't know, do you think I used too much? To me, the bougainvillea vines really add to the romantic vibe. I even tried to match the umbrellas with the bougainvillea. But if you guys think it's too much, please feel free to take some off the walls. It looks like it needs a good pruning anyway. Looks like I just finished the courtyard. How do you guys like it? I absolutely love the new fountain from the new Wedding Stories pack. I love how it has seating around the fountain. It gives Sims cute little opportunities to interact in a different way than just sitting across from each other at a dinner table. I've playtested this build and I like how Sims can cuddle and kiss on these seats. It's so cute. I also put the new piano that came with the pack on the courtyard, as well as the florist's stall. Unfortunately, no one will automatically come and play the piano or tend the stall. When you arrive to the restaurant, you'll need to hire them. But the good thing is the bar upstairs will always be manned. So you can go ahead and get your sim completely sloshed. Right now, I'm just finalizing the build, doing the final bits, bordering the courtyard with plants. I just plonked them anywhere and everywhere without really any thought or reason. So if it looks messy, that's intentional, surprisingly enough. Yeah, I just went ham on the gardening because that's my vibe, that's my style. I'm slowly learning to accept my individualness. After all, isn't it my uniqueness that makes my builds, as well as everything else I do, unique? And now I think we're done with this build, finally. So we can move on to some flybys. All in all, I love my build. I love the whole courtyard restaurant thing. It works really, really well with the location of the lot. You have a good, beautiful view of the sea. We have a beautiful view of the river. We have the mountains surrounding us. Apart from a good bottle of champagne, what more could you want? I actually think the bougainvillea works. I know there's a lot of it. In fact, maybe too much, but it still works. I'm half tempted to actually change the name of the restaurant from Taste of Tartosa to like the Bougainvillea restaurant or something like that. But I won't because, I don't know, Taste of Tartosa, it just has a nice ring to it, I guess. Oh, that's the flyby of the restaurant at dusk. I like how it splashes the walls in this nice pinkish color. And this one is a flyby of the restaurant at night. I put a heap of fireflies around, but for some reason, they're not showing. Anyway, that's it for me. Don't forget to do yourself a favor and like and subscribe to this channel. I'll put a link to download the build in the description. And if you'd like to check out the Hispanic build that I was talking about earlier in this video, here it is.